Alright, so I want to give you seven things you should know before you buy an electric e-bike or e-moto. I know e-bikes have pedals, but I think everybody refers to e-motos as e-bikes. The Surron is an e-moto, but I'm giving you 7 things you need to know before you buy an electric bike or an e-moto. First thing is probably the biggest thing, and I want to make very clear that these e-bikes or e-motos, let's just call them e-bikes, the Surrons, similar bikes like the Surron. Basically, they're not replacing your motorcycle. These electric bikes, electric motos, they're not replacing your motorcycle. Simply put, because of range, but I'm going to get into that. They're not replacing your motorcycle. What it's going to do is be an addition to your motorcycle. It's another bike that should be in the stable. You have several bikes in your stable now for what, like one for dirt, one for road, one for traveling, one for bike nights, and then you should have an electric bike for the roll it fill because it's got its own thing. Having an e-bike is going to be in addition to your motorcycles, alongside your motorcycles. I think they're going to be everywhere. They're not going to replace motorcycles, but they'll be everywhere. The e-bikes will be everywhere. I think it'll be like a digital cameras versus film cameras. Digital cameras didn't replace film cameras, but they are everywhere. They will be everywhere. I mean, very few people still use film cameras, but they're still out there, right? So I think e-motos are going to be like that. They're not going to replace motorcycles. They're just going to be in addition to motorcycles. So that's number one. The e-bikes are not replacing motorcycles. It's in addition to. Number two is going to be your range. You need to understand range. These e-bikes, they're really good for like city use, where you're kind of local and you're not going real far. Like, that's what they're good for. You just can't get like long range with the e-motos like you can gas bikes or bikes that have fuel. Now the range will vary depending on the battery size and the bikes and stuff like that, right? But anywhere from 30 miles up to like 60 miles, the e-bikes can do. It's just not long range. I think battery, a lot of people will argue that battery technology is not going to change. I disagree. I think battery technology will change. I think AI is going to develop better batteries. They're going to develop the technology to make better batteries because AI is going to live off of batteries. They have to live off batteries and power and all that shit. I think fast charging will be developed better. I think the materials they use for batteries will change. I mean, they're talking about using like salt and sea salt and stuff like that. And I just don't think battery technology is going to stay the same for like another 100 years. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, and I don't think it's going to replace what a motorcycle can do, but I think the range on these bikes will get better. It's just not going to give you the range a motorcycle can. Right? You're not going to be able to do long distance touring on an e-moto, right? And you'll have range anxiety on an e-moto. And then the third thing is, like, it's a different experience than a motorcycle. I think if you're younger than 30, you think electric's cool. I think if you're older than 30, you think electric is dumb. It's a movement. It's a movement all on its own. And it's a movement with kids. The kids love these things. It already has its place in the market because it already has a role that it fills on its own. And it's a street movement, really. Like, these kids love them and a lot of people ride them on the street, and it's definitely a street movement. I don't know, I think they're cool because they're different. I like the role that it plays, and we'll talk about it. Number 4, it's a pretty big one. These things are super easy to ride. They're super easy to ride. There's no clutch, there's no shifting gears. Having both the brake levers and your left and right hands is like way easier to use the brakes. And it has tons of torque. Tons of torque. It's a lot lighter than a motorcycle. I mean, the Stark Varg is like 260, but like this Surron that I'm on right here is like 125 pounds. It's super light, which makes it easier to ride. They're just easier to ride. You look at kids these days, there's 15-year-old kids doing wheelies like with ease, no problem. And I think that's just a sign that, like, these things are super easy to ride. Just don't have all the stuff to think about that you need to. You just turn the key, twist the throttle, hit the brakes. That's it. Super easy to ride. And, like, they're good for people just learning, right? Like, put your old lady on it and teach her how to ride. Or put your kids on it, right? The whole family can ride them because they're just so easy to ride. They're not big, they're light, super easy. And then number 5 would be, there's very, very little maintenance on these things. Very little maintenance on these things. There's not a lot of moving parts. There's no clutch to burn up. There's no air filter to clean. There's no oil changes to do. No spark plugs to carry and change. No valves to adjust. I could just go on and on and on. The maintenance, I mean, there is some maintenance, but it's very little. Generally, the battery is the main thing you got to worry about. Just maintaining the battery decent. Just don't let it run down dead. The motors and the controller, like they're fairly decent as long as you keep them stock. When you start modding them and doing stuff, then it changes the whole. The number 6 thing you should know before you buy an electric bike is the experience. The riding experience is fabulous. It really is fabulous. There's tons of torque, right? You don't need a clutch because you just crack the throttle and there's torque. It's on the low end. I think like on my Surron, you go above 20 miles an hour, you kind of lose your torque. All your torque's 20 or lower, but there's tons of torque on these things. They're super fun to ride. It's super smooth. There's no vibrations, right? You don't have engine vibration. You don't have all that. It's just smooth. Smooth, soft, vibration free. Pretty nice experience. And like I said before, the range is like I can get 30-35 miles out of this Surron. Some of them get up to like 60 miles on range. The speeds, like this top speed is like 45. I think this is one of the slowest ones. Like a Stark Varg, I think is like 80 miles an hour top speed. So they can get up there pretty good. They can be modded out to be pretty powerful. I mean, they don't have the top speed that like some motorcycles do, but they got more torque and they got more power on the bottom end. Can get up to those, 0 to 60s pretty fast. The riding experience is really fun. It's really smooth, and they're super quiet, right? I can sneak up on people all the time. Like I'll ride on the sidewalk. People would be walking in front of me. They don't hear me until I'm on top of them. They're pretty damn quiet, pretty smooth, vibration free. Like it's a really, really nice riding experience. Easy to turn it on, easy to go. It's hard not to like, to be honest. I would try to do more wheelies, but my whole camera setup is going to move on me, so I'm just going to try to shoot the video and work on wheelie videos another time. Number 7 is going to be like price or affordability. I'm going to say these things are pretty affordable. Now, you can get some of this stuff for under $1,000, but I don't know, some of these bikes out here are junk. I think realistically, if you have $1,500, you can get a good used bike, like a Talaria. You get a Talaria for $1,500 used, and I think that's your bottom end, right? I know there's cheaper stuff, but I think there's just a lot of junk out there. Like the Talaria, Surrons, those are a little better quality bikes, and you can get used Talarias $1,500. You can get a new Talaria for like $3,000, or a used Surron for like $3,000. That's pretty affordable in my eyes. New Surrons are like $4,000, $4,500, depends on where you buy them at. You can get up into the Ultra Bs, which are pretty fabulous bikes for like $6,000, $6,500. You're getting a lot of bike with that right there. I think pretty affordable. Even now Stark Vargs, they're like what, 10 to 12, depending on where you buy them. That's a full-blown electric motorcycle, so I think like that's about the price of a motorcycle. Like my Honda 450 was $10,000. Like I think you get Stark Vargs for like 10 to 12, something like that. So I think they're pretty affordable. Can you buy like a Grom for $1,500? A Honda Grom? Maybe. I think Honda Groms are like $3,000. Maybe you can buy a knockoff pit bike for less than $1,000, but that shit don't last long either. And you got all the maintenance that goes with it, and it's a pit bike. Little bitty tiny thing. I think these Surrons are more affordable. I think they make better pit bikes. Just the e-bikes are better pit bikes. They're more affordable, I think, than even some of those small motorcycles. I mean, I can get a brand new Surron for the same price as a Grom. Now, I know a Grom is street legal and stuff, but who wants to be street legal? We're buying these bikes to like slip through the cracks, to move around quietly without, And I'll throw in a bonus. Number 8's a bonus. It's like, what's the role for these things? It's really just street riding, trail riding. Use it like a bicycle, really. That's powered, that can do 45, 50 miles an hour and go like 35 miles range. It's a local, it could be a local commuter. Like the Ultra Bees, they get like 60 miles range. So, you know, you could commute with that on work. You could put the battery charger under the seat, ride to work. Even if it's, you know, less than 60 miles, charge it up at work, ride it back home. Like, pretty fabulous, really. The role is, it's not replacing your motorcycle. It's not becoming a trail bike. It's not to be a trail bike. It's not to be a single track bike, you know. It's not a road ripper. It's not a long touring travel bike. They're local rippers. It's for running around the streets and sidewalks and parks, and it's just amazing what kids can do on these things because they're just so much easier to ride. So I don't know, I could talk about why they're so good to ride, and just understand it's a different experience and you're not trying to get the same experience you would out of a motorcycle. This is a different experience. This is one that your kids and your wife and your whole family can enjoy together. Families that play together stay together. They're pretty fabulous. And I probably left some reasons out, but you know, YouTube likes that 7 algorithm thing, so you're gonna see them more and more places. They're just gonna be tons of them everywhere, right? There's already tons of them everywhere, but like in Vegas, this is perfect place because it's like city suburbs. It's really good for like a Vegas type setting, but I really like it. I think a lot of people really like them. I think usually when the kids like stuff and older people don't, it's like because it's new stuff and the kids know what's cool. But I'm telling you, these e-bikes are cool. It's just a different world than my motorcycle is. It's a different type of riding experience that's pretty fabulous. All right, I'll stop rambling. Hope you liked the video. Comment down below, like, would you ever buy an e-bike? Would you add an e-bike or an e-moto to your stable of motorcycles? I think you should. I think more and more people are gonna start doing it. Doesn't fill the same role your motorcycle does. It's got its own. There's already a place for it in the market, but don't believe me, just give it some more time, you'll see. Hope you liked the video. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys later. I still think, and I hate to say this, I still think the best microphone from DJI is the DJI Mic 2 for motovlogging, because it would actually give you like minus 20 decibels. All the Mini, the Mic 3, like they only give you 12 decibels. Sucks, it's not enough.